My dear learners of Standard 8, it's a very good morning and welcome back to my today's online class. The subject is Science Geography. Hopefully, you all are fine, safe and sound at home by the mercy of Almighty Allah. Previously, I had discussed with you from the Science Geography part, that is the outer space and satellites, lesson 2. Today, I am going to discuss on lesson 3. That is planets and the natural satellite, and besides that I will also discuss about the artificial satellite. First of all, we will know about the galaxy. You have a clear idea about the galaxy. So the galaxy to which we belong, you know, that is the Milky Way galaxy, and which is a spiral system consisting of several 100 billion stars. That is the many billion of stars that are bound together by their mutual gravitational force and move together in space as a bound system is called a galaxy. And there are a vast number of stars in a galaxy, and there are a vast number of galaxies in our universe. It takes its name from the Milky Way, the irregular luminous band of stars and gas clouds that stretches across the sky as seen from the Earth. Though you know, sometimes you can see a faint glowing of band that is across the overhead sky when it is clear and dark enough, and it is made up of stars too far away to be seen as separate points of light, and this band is known as Milky Way. So next, the planet. What is planet? You have known that the planets of the solar system revolve around the sun. So we can say the astronomical objects that revolve around the stars are called planets, and the planets are generally round. There are different gaseous bodies in the planets, but the planets don't produce any energy. So no planet gives either light or heat. So planets are natural satellites, luminous by getting the heat and light from the sun. How many satellites are there in a planet? So, you know, there are 8 planets in the solar system, and among them the 2 planets, that is Mercury and Venus, these 2 planets have no natural satellites. So which 2 planets have no natural satellite? That is Mercury and Venus. Earth has 1, Mars 2, Jupiter 67 according to your book, Saturn 62, Uranus 27, Neptune 14. There are more than 171 moons in our moons or natural satellite in our solar system, and they revolve around the planets due to the influence of the force of gravity of their respective planets. Dear learners, basically the planets are divided into 2 main types. One is the large low density giant planets, that is the vast or the extensive planets, and the smaller rocky terrestrial planet. So Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, these 4 are the smaller rocky terrestrial planet, and these 3 planets except the Earth, which have the little bit similarity with the Earth. So in order to increasing, under the IAU definition, there are 8 planets in the solar system. In order to increasing distance from the sun, they are the 4 terrestrials, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. Then 4 giant planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. 6 of the planets are orbited by 1 or more natural satellites, and 2 of them, that is the among 8 planets, Mercury and Venus, they have no natural satellite. So what is the IAU? IAU, International Astronomical Union, is an organization of professional astronomers. Now come to the point, that is satellites. The objects that revolve around the planets are called the satellites. We can tell that the celestial body orbiting around a planet or star. The Earth is a satellite of the sun, and the satellites are smaller than the planets. So satellites are always smaller than the planets. How many types of satellites are there? Natural satellite and artificial satellite. So natural satellite follow. Here the Earth, we can say the Earth is a satellite of the sun and Moon is a satellite of the Earth. So the natural satellite is an object that orbits a planet or other body larger than itself and which is not man-made. So So it is the sun and earth is orbiting, revolves around the sun and moon revolves around the earth. Then another one satellite here, that is the artificial satellite. So an artificial satellite is an object that people have made and launched into orbit using the rockets. So and people send these artificial satellites to the outer space to collect different types of information of the outer space. So there are different types of satellites serves in different purposes. That is, they act as a weather satellite, communication satellite, global positional satellite, astronomical satellite. Then also you will know the navigation satellite, militancy satellite, earth observation satellite, etc., etc. So an artificial body placed in orbit round the earth or moon or another planet in order to collect information or for communication. So more than 2,500 satellites are sent by men are moving around the earth. Do you know, from our country, one artificial satellite launched, that is the Bongo Satellite 1. It is the first Bangladeshi geostationary communications and broadcasting satellite, and it is named after the father of the nation, that is Bongo Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and it was manufactured by Thales Alenia Space and launched on 12 May 2018. The satellite was the first payload launched by a SpaceX Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket. You should know the information. So what are the benefits of Bongo satellite? The major part of the benefits of Bongo is expected to be the dedicated telecommunication services on unexpected natural cataclysm, then that means a large scale and violent event in the natural world. During the unexpected natural disaster, telecommunication services are likely to go off. So at that time, with Bongo Satellite 1, the nation is expected to curb such travel. So we will know about the natural disaster by the help of the Bongo 1 satellite. Now the question, where did the planets and satellite come from? Scientists think that the sun and the planets and the satellites are formed from a huge cloud of gas and dust around 4,500 million years ago. So planets and stars formed from the collapse of giant molecular clouds of gas and dust, and the first such clouds formed from elements created during the first 3 minutes of the Big Bang. The first such gas and dust clouds formed from these elements created during the first 3 minutes of Big Bang. And the formation and evolution of the solar system began about 4.57 billion years ago with the gravitational collapse of a small part of a giant molecular cloud. So most of the collapsing mass collected in the center, forming the sun, while the rest flattened into a protoplanetary disk out of which the planets, moon, asteroids and the other solar system bodies formed. So we can say one thing, that is, from the huge cloud of gas and dust around 4,500 million years ago, a star, first think about the star, a star near that cloud of gas and dust exploded vigorously and making the cloud of gas and dust spun. So as the cloud spun around and stuck together to form a small lump after rotation, in time the stars crashed into each other and they formed the satellites. So the cloud in the same way, that cloud of gas and dust in the same way gathered into lump around the planets to form their satellites. So first this cloud of gas and dust, they struck with each other and form one lump, that is the planets, and this same way, after this same way gathered into lump around the planets to form their satellites. So the planets and satellites don't radiate heat and light because they are not big enough to start the nuclear reaction as happened in the stars. So dear learners, today up to this, next day I will come with you, that is with the artificial satellites and the history of their development. Thank you all. Stay safe, stay blessed at home.